Okay, we have lots of new stuff to talk about today. I'll be doing the mascara review, the L'Oreal Telescopic Lip Mascara. We've got a new lip serum from Bobbi Brown, a Makeup Forever face palette, some new Violette Yeux Paint liquid eyeshadows, a new shade of the Saie Hydro Beam Concealer, the Tower 28 lip balms, the Colé lip treatment oil, and lots more. First, I'm gonna start with the Bobbi Brown Extra Plump Hydrating Lip Serum. This is $35 and it has this nice pointy paddle applicator, really soft, really flexible. I love applicators like that just kind of move with your lips. What I'll say about this is it does have that kind of classic Bobbi Brown lip product scent, which is like ever so slightly citrusy, but very, very subtle. Not my favorite, but it's so subtle. I really don't mind it. And luckily, this kind of lip serum does not have any menthol in it. And there's no stinging, there's no tingling, it's not hot, it's not a cooling effect. So I made sure to check the ingredients before I bought it because I really don't like products that irritate the lips to plump them. I find that always dries my lips out. This has a very buttery, lightweight texture. It's very slippy, really lightweight, very soft. So if you want something that's really thick, really cushiony, gel-like, and occlusive, this is not going to be for you. You'd probably want to go with something like the Fit Glow lip serums. This is really like the lighter cousin to that. It reminds me a little bit of the Too Faced like Pillow Plump lip serums, whatever they are, the ones that Amanda Z really likes, but this doesn't have all of the sort of like cooling menthol to it. So I do prefer this. However, this makes my lips feel a lot more dry when it wears off. It's like beautiful when it's on. I don't know, maybe I'll zoom you in. I think it kind of just smooths over lip lines and makes it look like really soft and flattering and young. So I think I'm gonna have to keep testing it for a couple more days, but when I wore it last night, it wore off while I was in a bath, and all of a sudden I realized like my lips were just, I was going like this and I felt like they were super parched and I just wanted to wipe it off. So really comfortable when it's on, not so great once it wears off. But I'm gonna keep testing it, so we'll see how it wears by the end of the video. Next up, we have the Saie Hydro Beam Concealers. Now, spoiler alert, I've already reviewed this concealer on my channel and my Instagram before. I love this formula. It's a lightweight, hydrating, brightening concealer. I normally don't like light coverage, so it really says something that I love this. Unfortunately, even with this shade expansion, there's no shade for me. So I'm really bummed about that. I'm gonna swatch the shades HB Half, which is a new one, I believe is the lightest one, and then HB1, which has cool pink undertones. So you can see the difference here. These are very light shades, so you may not be able to see them super clearly, but this is HB Half, which is for very fair skin with neutral undertones. It looks pretty yellow to me though. And then this is HB1, and this is for very fair skin with cool pink undertones. So this is the one that matches me in terms of the undertone, but sadly, both of these are too light for me. And the shade that would match me or should match me is HB1.5, but I'll put a picture actually on the screen here. I went to Sephora and I swatched all of the shades when I was in the Bay Area. It was my first day after being bedridden and I was so excited to get out of the house. But I was so bummed all of the shades that Saie added, including the original line, are just super yellow and peach, as you can see on my hand. I was just like super bummed because when a shade expansion comes, you're expecting different undertones and something like really thoughtful. So I was really disappointed that they don't make a shade for me because I love this formula. So I'm just gonna go in with HB1 and you're gonna see that it is just very bright under my eyes. I do not like the look of a super bright concealer. I find that it looks very aging. So I'm only gonna go in with that amount and then I might add like some of the Makeup Forever palette and see if we can just even it out a little bit. I like to use a brush with it. This Hydro Beam Concealer, it's a beautiful formula and it's saying something, like I said, because I like a full coverage concealer, but this just melts into the skin in a way I haven't seen other concealers do. It just looks so skin-like. It adds a tiny bit of coverage, enough that it does kind of cancel out some of the darkness under my eyes. It's a little bit buildable, but I would say really just expect light coverage. But what it does is it just hydrates without adding like a dewy wet texture that often can emphasize hollowness. I find if you veer too far on the end of hydrating versus matte, I think sometimes that can be unflattering. I just adore this formula so much. So I wonder if I had like HB Half or if I had HB2 and I mixed it with this, if it would be okay. I'm not sure, but again, I don't think it's very realistic to recommend a product to consumers where they have to mix colors to get the right shade. So a little bit of a bummer for me. I was really hoping they were gonna nail the shade expansion, and I just unfortunately cannot give it my blessing. And I know I'm not alone in these feelings. I had a lot of people DM me that they also went to Sephora and they were super bummed that they didn't have a shade match either. So it's not just me. So amazing job on the formula, Saie. Hats off to you, but missed the mark on the shade expansion for me personally. So I'm gonna see if maybe I can go in with this Makeup Forever palette and like add some like a darker color under my eyes. Okay, I'm gonna take this shade here, which is a little bit peachy and a little dark, and I'm like tapping that under my eyes to just add some more coverage and make it not quite as bright. Wow, this has a very beautiful emollient formula. Wow, this also feels really blendable. And I do prefer using a brush. I noticed that's what makeup artists do. And I'm trying to level up my makeup game. Let me tell you, I have been studying a lot of makeup artists online lately and just not wanting to like ever give advice because that's not me. I'm never going to be an expert on anything, but I want to look better on camera. I want to be able to do better makeup. So far so good on this. And maybe I'll use it as bronzer because I don't have a new bronzer in front of me. Whoa, the bronzer shade's pretty dark. Okay, that's very dark for me. I'm just going to use my fingers because I don't have a brush. Was this a disaster? It's very orange in person. Very, very orange in person. Okay. Maybe not my best bronzer shade, but you know what? It's blending out pretty well. Okay, not bad on the forehead. I'm just gonna add a dot to kind of contour bronzer, just to add a little bit of like warmth on the underside of the cheekbones, to do like a little fake sculpt, fake bronze hybrid moment. Definitely on the warmer side for me than I would prefer, but the other shade in there is really dark. It does sheer out though, so you know, a little scary at first, but I think that this really blends in beautifully in a way that I wasn't expecting. I'm gonna grab a brush. So there are two blush options we can use, either the Makeup Forever palette or Charlotte Tilbury sent me their Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand High Blush in the shade Pink Gasm. So I've already tried this and I'm gonna drop in the clip of me applying it so you can see what my issues are. This is beautiful at first. Gorgeous color that reminds me a lot of NARS Orgasm, really blendable formula, but to the point where it just blends away. It like completely disappeared and you're left with the highlighter look. You know, your cheeks are really shining and glowing, but the blush color is gone. So I applied it like 3 times and made sure to really layer it up, and it just kept disappearing and kept disappearing. And I had talked to a couple people and they said the same thing happened to them. So, you know, I think that maybe this Beauty Light Wand just is not for me, but I am gonna use the highlighter in a bit and we'll see how that looks. So instead, I'm gonna go in with continuing with this beautiful Makeup Forever palette. I'm so discombobulated. Can you tell that I haven't done this in a while? They sent me the sheet and I totally forgot to look at it. So they have Harmony 1 and Harmony 2. So they have a light shade and a dark shade, and each palette is a mix of concealers, correctors, blush, contour, and highlight. And Makeup Forever says this has a blendable formula, buildable coverage, lightweight texture, and a natural finish, all of which I agree. Let's go in with this light pink here, which is so pretty. I love this really beautiful emollient formula, but it seems to set down in a way that I really appreciate. You know, I don't love when my cheeks stay really glossy and balmy or have a sticky texture. So I would very much trust Makeup Forever to make a beautiful palette like this that really does look skin-like, that's so blendable, so easy to use. And even though I'm really not a face palette person, because they packed so much in here, I would reach for this and I would bring this with me on vacation or to travel, you know, because normally when I think of a face palette, I think of something like the Salt New York palettes, and those are really, really big pans, and I'm just never gonna go through one of those, and they also just generally look like they have a more wet finish. Something like this, where you truly get everything in one small palette, this is the face palette that I've been waiting for. This is something that is very, very multifunctional for me and has a finish that is just undeniably beautiful on the skin. I mean, that is gorgeous. Now, we all know my face eats blush, so I'm gonna build this up and we're gonna see if any blush is remaining by the end of the video. It's like Survivor Cream Blush Edition. But the way that this looks and blends right now, I mean, you've got your concealer, foundation, contour, bronzer, blush, and highlight all right here. So very impressed so far. So I'm gonna do the Makeup Forever palette on one side and the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand on the other side. My right side is gonna be Charlotte Tilbury. And I also had been testing this one. I need a little bit more. And I compared it to the Beauty Pie triple luminizing beauty wand, which everyone has compared this to. And I gotta say, I like the Beauty Pie more. The Beauty Pie, it's shinier. It just has this like ultra glossy effect, and then it completely sets down on the skin. Whereas the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand, it seems a lot more subtle. And I don't mind that at all. Like I actually like a subtle highlight. I think I was just expecting more because the Beauty Pie gave me so much more. So that is the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand. And I'll drop in another clip of me applying this as well, just so that you can see it in different lighting on a different day. You know, again, really, really beautiful blendable formula, non-shimmery, non-glittery, easy to blend with your fingers, and then sets down, doesn't feel sticky or tacky on the skin, just looks like you've got that beautiful lit from within glow. I would say the difference between this and the Beauty Pie has a little bit more of a cool toned, kind of icy look to it, which I think is also why it emphasizes the glow a little bit more. This has a little bit more of a champagne color, and champagne always has a little tinge of yellow. So maybe it just depends on what color you're going for. And I'm actually gonna go back in and just add a little bit of blush because I think we kind of covered over that a little bit. I'm really impressed with this Makeup Forever palette. And these are the moments when receiving PR feels really special, because this is something I never in a million years would have spent my money on, because I've been burned by so many cream blush formulas throughout the years that just disappear from my face or are just leave me feeling really sticky, balmy, you know, are hard to blend. They're kind of patchy, but this is a beautiful product. So now that we've got the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter, I'm gonna take the highlighter shade of the Makeup Forever palette and see what look we get here. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Oh, that actually looks a lot like this and the Beauty Pie. This might even have more glow. Yeah. What do you think? What side has more glow? This one or this one? Both are beautiful, can't complain, but I don't know. There's something about this formula that feels very, very special. It's so skin-like. I did not think I was gonna like this because I'm just not a face palette person, especially when it comes to creams, but like, new favorite product. I'm gonna add a little dot on the center of my nose and just a little at the top of the bridge. Just add a little life to my face. Okay, cute, 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 cute. Now, Violette sent me their new Yeux paints, which is their liquid eyeshadows. So the violet twinkling shade is Rêve de Dahlia. And then this deep, rich, reddish purple matte shade is it Poisson? Is it Poisson fish or Poison? In French, is Poisson, 2 S's, fish, and poison, would this be poison? Poison? My high school French is not carrying me very far here. Help me out. I'm struggling here. I'm drowning. Help me out. Anyways, I gotta do the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift Mascara. No falsies with this one. And I'm gonna do the mascara first because I have a bunch of lip products to try and these colors are gonna totally overwhelm those. So we'll save those for the end. I'm just gonna curl my lashes off camera and add a little bit of liner on the upper waterline. So the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift Mascara is the controversial mascara that was in the ad by the massive TikToker, Michaela, who clearly added false lashes to her ad. And it was this whole thing that exploded on TikTok. She has over 14 million followers there, a lot of them young, impressionable people. And it's just very hurtful to both consumers and influencers alike to be intentionally misleading on an ad. She also clearly uses a lot of beauty filters. It looked like halfway through the ad, she popped on false lashes to make the mascara look better, which is really misleading. And sure, TV commercials do that all the time, or it seems like they like digitally add lashes in a commercial. And I feel like that's why no one really trusts commercials. But when it comes to influencers, those are people we develop these parasocial relationships with, and we really start to trust them. As I've gained your trust over the years. That's why it's really damaging when an influencer, the biggest influencer who has the most influence, basically just insults all of us and insults all of the consumers just to make a quick buck. It's really hurtful to the industry in general. And then influencers like us who really care about integrity and authenticity have to double down and work even harder to maintain the trust of our audiences. But no matter what, like things like this is what gives influencers a really bad reputation. So it was this whole thing that exploded on TikTok if you haven't seen it, and it was very disappointing. And also, like, how did the brand approve that ad? I mean, I've done ads for drugstore brands before. I did an ad for Neutrogena for the Rapid Wrinkle Repair line that I loved, and every step of the way. They approved every edit. Everything I said, everything on camera was, you know, had to go through an approval process. It was always in my own voice and wasn't scripted, but there were things that like they take out because it has to match their brief. And what's interesting is when it comes to these big brands that have lots of money and big agencies that represent them, that ad had to have been seen by a lot of people, not just the influencer, but probably her manager, the agency representing L'Oreal, the team at L'Oreal had to approve the ad. So that ad with beauty filters and false lashes was approved by several people several steps of the way. And that's what really grinds my gears. Is this isn't just one person at fault. There are a lot of people at fault in that misleading advertising. And it's a slap in the face to all of us. It really is. So with all that being said, I'm going to talk about the mascara and give it my honest thoughts. So L'Oreal says that this wand was designed to be used in 2 steps. First, you use the curve side with, I believe, the curve side being that top, and then you flip it and comb through the hairs. I've tested this several times and unfortunately it's not working for me yet, but a lot of times mascara for me needs like weeks to dry out a little bit before it reaches the perfect consistency. I have found that I really have to wipe the excess off of this wand because it's quite a wet formula, and the wetter the formula, the faster or like the heavier my lashes are gonna be, and so it's really gonna flatten them out. So by really wiping off the wand, let's see how this goes. I'm gonna zoom you in. I'm taking the curve side and they say to just push up. I'm pushing, pushing, pushing. And my friend Carly recommended doing this. That looks pretty good actually. That looks better than it did before. Thanks, Carly. I will leave a link to Carly's review on the screen above on Instagram so you can see the technique that she used in turning this brush. And that looks way better than it did when I was doing it by myself. I'm still, though, not getting a ton of lift. Another review you can watch is Amanda Z. Yeah, what is it? Is it too wet? Am I using the brush wrong? I'm kind of doing the curve side and then brushing through, but I'm really not getting any lift. Fuck it, let's just use the comb and see what happens. Here's the comb. Whoa, getting way more product with the comb. Okay. You would think it would be the other way around, add the product first and then comb through with the other side. I think this is as far as I can go because I've been testing this and this just builds up and is gonna keep getting clumpy and wet and heavy, and then my lashes are gonna fall flat. I'm gonna try it again. So I'm just gonna wipe off the excess so it doesn't get too crazy because there's so much product on this wand. Okay, again, I'm gonna push. Oh no. Fuck you, L'Oreal. Cool. Love that. For me, good thing that concealer didn't look that great anyways. We will fix that later. Well, this turned into a disaster. Well, I can't recurl my lashes again. I just tried and I had too much mascara that it like wouldn't hold on to it. So I'm just gonna fuck it and go in. It's gonna look like shit. Okay, I'm using the curve side like you told me to, and I'm not getting any lift. I'm trying to do the comb thing and I keep like poking myself. Yeah, okay, so the curve side of the wand is really not working for me. I'm just gonna use the comb side to add a bunch of product at least, get some volume. Maybe try doing the curve side afterwards. Yeah, this doesn't do anything for me whatsoever. But if you check out Amanda Z's review, it looked incredible on her. She does already have very long lashes though, so you know, on someone like me, it doesn't look as great. My friend Dev also did a review. I'll link Dev's review in the description box along with Carly's review and Amanda's review. Dev didn't really like it either, and I think she has lashes that are a little bit more like mine. So I've had a lot of people DM me about the mascara, and it seems like people are like 50-50 split on it. I'm gonna set my skin now with a little bit of powder. It's the Fit Glow powder, which is absolutely my favorite because the Makeup Forever palette is definitely very dewy on the skin. So I just want to see if a powder can control that shine just a little bit. Oh my God. And the mascara was so wet, it still hadn't dried, and now it just, do you see this? It was still so wet that when I touched my lashes with the brush, It totally messed them up. I hate this mascara. Can't do it again. Let's move on to lips before I apply the bright eyeshadows. The one I'm most excited to tell you about is the Colé Lip Treatment Oil in the shade Smitten. I'm gonna take off the Bobbi Brown lip serum. This actually still feels really nice. It's almost worn off and it still feels good. So maybe I need to revisit it. I cannot wait to show you this product. First of all, thick, chunky applicator. Love that, so comfortable. Look at this color. Wow, it's thick. I'm gonna zoom you in. How pretty is that? You can see it definitely comes out more bright pink than it does in the tube. It looks more like cherry red here, but it's definitely a hot pink. The Colé Lip Treatment Oil is thick. It is like grippy. It's a little sticky, so if you see my lips, you can see there's definitely some tackiness to it, which is great for me. I find that much more comfortable, doesn't slide outside my lip lines, and it's gonna last a lot longer than something really, really buttery and really oily. So it doesn't feel like a lip oil to me at all. It feels much more like a cross between like a traditional thick and sticky gloss meets a liquid lip balm, which is my sweet spot. I am so excited that I purchased this because I'd heard amazing things, and then I saw that they had come to Sephora and launched a pink shade. They have 3 other shades: a clear, a kind of light peachy nude, and a kind of darker, more cool toned brown. I can't wait for them to launch more shades because this is something that I want to own multiple of in all different colors. It has a very nice subtle vanilla scent that I love. It just feels so thick and nourishing. I just love this. So if you tend to have the same preferences as I do, I would definitely give the Colé Lip Treatment Oils a shot. I am so glad I picked this up. And also, I hope you can see it really does seem to kind of smooth over the lip lines really beautifully as well. And that's something I notice usually only thicker products can do that, like the Naturium Phyto Glow Lip Balm. I'm forgetting some of the others. I will leave on the screen linked above my best and worst liquid lip balm video. I think I tried over 30 liquid lip balms, so you can definitely get a wide range of reviews there. And this I would have put in one of the top picks in that video. Next, I have the Byredo Lip Vinyl Liquid Lipstick. This is in the shade Flushed. I think I talked about this on my channel before, maybe not. I kind of blanked out over what I've done over the past couple months. It has a very, very, very long paddle applicator, so I find that I need to just like reel it in a little bit, otherwise it can get kind of out of control. Really lovely formula. I just like to use my finger because the applicator does deposit a lot of product. I like to just kind of blur it out, blend it in a little bit. What's interesting is that the shade Flushed looks a lot warmer of a pink on my friend Dev, which is why I bought it. On me, it definitely looks a little bit more of a classic mauve. Like it looks a lot more cool toned on me. I'm actually not too bad about it because I don't think I have a classic mauve lip color in my collection. So it's actually kind of nice to own something different. I will say the smell is not my favorite. It has a scent that's very much perfume-like. So it's not like when you get a vanilla scent, it kind of just smells natural. But for me, it's Byredo, so I think it was intended to be a perfume fragrance. That's what a lot of, luxury brands tend to do anyways. It's kind of a cross between like a fruity floral, not my favorite, but the inclusion of a little bit of fruitiness in it makes it so that I can wear it. And as far as the formula goes, it's so interesting. It's like you mixed a matte liquid lipstick with a liquid lip balm. So it kind of almost looks matte on the lips. There's a little bit of shine to it, but it is kind of like a lip vinyl. It's really interesting because it's also very, very thin. It doesn't feel heavy on the lips. It almost feels like you're wearing nothing. It's really cool. It's a really interesting formula. What I will say is, just like as a little warning, the colors look nothing like they do on the website. On the website, this was like a coral pink, and all the colors online the digital swatches are just horrible. They should not be trusted. Try to find reviews of this online. I know my friend Beauty Unhyped on Instagram, she has a blog. She posts a lot of pictures of lip products, so check her out. Her name's Stephanie. She's great. Dev has done a lot of reviews of this, so you can definitely find the colors online. Don't trust the website. And also, I think this was around $50. So it's Byredo. It's a luxury fragrance brand. It's very expensive. Just keep that in mind. It's a pricey product, but it does feel and look luxury. It's a luxury experience for me. So I'm not mad I bought it. I just don't love the scent. And I know that I'm rambling here and you guys are probably like, cut to the chase, but I just have to tell you, the scent lingers. Like, it's quite strong, and I've noticed it on my lips when I wear it for like 30 minutes after the application, and then it starts fading. So just make sure that scents don't really bother you. Next up, we have the Tower 28 Juice Bombs, a buttery smooth vegan tinted lip balm boosted with healthy ingredients and bursting with juicy color. This soft, cushiony balm is formulated with a nourishing shea butter base to provide the creamiest texture and dewy sheen. It comes in 2 sheer shades and 2 pigmented shades, which I think is really cool. I have thoughts on this, but first I'm gonna apply them. This is my favorite shade. It's Mix, and it's a sheer shade. So very much kind of a sheer peachy nude. I don't know if you can see, but these slide right on like melted oil. So that's Mix, which is a sheer nude. The next one is Shake, which is a sheer juicy pink. And to get some color with the sheer ones, you like really have to swipe like, I don't know, 10 times. So I'm just like going, that's, you know, that's pretty much as you can build up. So that one's Shake. Moving into the pigmented ones, we have Squeeze, which is a bright orange kind of thing you can do one swipe with. So again, that is Squeeze. And lastly, we have Drink, which is a bright berry. Berry pink. They say berry, but I'm gonna say berry pink. So the last one is Drink. Let me give you my thoughts on these. So they are totally fragrance and essential oil free. They're unscented. Personally, I'm a little confused by this launch. First of all, let's just talk about the packaging. I have so many thoughts. I just need to like collect myself and figure out how I want to communicate this. There's nothing innovative here. There's nothing groundbreaking or new here. I think I was really shocked to see so many people freak out about this online. I was like, you're freaking out over a tinted lip crayon? Like, that's been done 100 million times before. Now, maybe the difference here is that these are vegan, you know, they're a clean beauty brand. So maybe that's why people are really excited, is that they didn't feel like they had that option in the space. But there's nothing groundbreaking in terms of the colors, the packaging, the performance, or anything like that. So more so just like if you really like Tower 28 as a brand and you're just excited they have a new product, I would totally understand that. I've just seen this done a million times before and better. You know, Clinique had the Chubby Sticks, which had so many shades. They're also like a hypoallergenic brand. They have no fragrance or anything. So they're kind of close to Clinique, just with slightly different packaging. Luckily, compared to those, I feel like the caps on these are a little more secure. I find that with the Clinique Chubby Sticks and like the Revlon Color Stay Bombs, I don't know if you guys have ever tried those. Way back in the day, they were like viral online, and the caps would fall off really easily. These seem really secure, so I'll give them that. But when you compare this to something like the Clinique Chubby Sticks that have a massive range of colors that also had a mix of pigmented and sheer shades, kind of like, why would we need these, you know? Or when you can have an affordable version, that's the Revlon Color Stay Bomb that also had more colors. Yeah, so it's a little bit of a puzzling launch to me, but the thing is, that is Tower 28's thing, and I think that they're an amazing brand. I love them as people. Their branding just makes me really happy, and I really appreciate that about them. But when it comes to something like this that truly has been done a million times before, I would have loved to see something a little different, you know? I would have loved to see, rather than a chubby stick like crayon that looks kind of like teenager makeup, I would have loved Tower 28 to lean into the branding that they had created for the lip jellies, you know, that clear component people love, those kind of bright popsicle shades and the clear component. I feel like they could have done that in a tinted lip balm in a stick. That could have been really nice to apply, that had more of a bullet applicator. You know, I think that would have been my vision for the Tower 28 like tinted lip balm, is the clear component of the lip jellies with an inside color that you can see of like this bright, beautiful shade. So very long-winded way of saying I don't love these, kind of a puzzling launch for me. But if I were to recommend two, I would say the pigmented shades are really fun and, you know, actually not that difficult to control. They don't get messy. So not for me, but maybe it's for someone else. Let's get into this beautiful Violette Yeux Paint in the shade Rêve de Dahlia. So I've tested this once before and it's extraordinarily pigmented, so you only need a little bit. I'm hoping that this dried already so it's not gonna smudge the mascara. Ugh, my mascara is already smudging on the bottom. I'm gonna do a little dot here, like a line, and then I'm gonna blend it with like a flat brush. This color is so pretty. I love this. I wore this last week just at home because I was feeling really depressed and sick of being sick and bedridden for 2 weeks. And so you can see Even though it's super pigmented, it actually does let you manipulate it a lot. So I'm kind of like softly blending it up, and then I'm gonna go back in and add more once I like have the shape down that I want. So you can see it's very colorful, but you don't have to be like too freaked out about it. You know, you do have a little bit of time to work with it. So I'm just gonna do that again and just like build up a little bit more, I guess. And I feel like I have to like not talk when I do this because these do set down. Like once they set, they're set. So I'm gonna try using my fingers too. They work really nicely with the warmth of your finger. So I'm just gonna blend and then take a brush. And now I'm just doing the other side really quickly. So that is the Violette liquid eyeshadow in Rêve de Dahlia, and I'll show you what it looks like on my closed eyes right now. I don't normally do really bright shades, so please be kind with me. I did the most blending I could possibly do before it's set. So I had to play around with it just to start, you know, building up my blending skills a little bit better. But I actually think the formula is really easy to use, you know, for something that's such an intimidating color, so pigmented. I actually think it looks pretty good. What do you think? Do you like the bright shades? Should I incorporate more bright eyeshadow looks on my channel? Let me know because I definitely want to pick up some more shades of this. And here are the two new colors swatched side by side. We have Rêve de Dahlia and Poison de Délice, something like that. This one's a matte and this one's a twinkling shade. To round out today's video, we have a launch that I talked about on YouTube Shorts and Instagram a long time ago, but it's the M Cosmetics Silver Linings Gel Pencil. And I'm just gonna add a little bit to the inner corner because I feel like it kind of will go with this a little bit. I want to show you how pigmented this is. It's crazy. Let me zoom you in a little more. It just adds the brightest beam of silver light I could ever ask for. It's a strange launch that they only came out with one shade. I mean, I get it, doing silver for Christmas, you know, I do get it, but I just feel like when you're doing a launch, we want to see more shades than just this. I mean, how beautiful is that? Oh, I love wearing it as just like a full liner look. I've done that a few times before. I think I did that on New Year's Eve. Just such a pigmented, creamy, bright gel liner. God, M Cosmetics, please add more shades for this. This is such a beautiful liner look. Oh my God, it just went on like butter. Thanks for sitting through this very long, chatty video. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate if you can give it a thumbs up. It really helps our channels to grow. And if you made it this far, I appreciate you. I hope you're all having a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.